Okay, I'm going to give you the floor here.
Yep.
An AJ Guyton wish list.
Mm-hmm.
What are some coaches you're looking for that could fill the need that Indiana needs at that head coach position?
Well, first of all, it has to be a player with IU ties. A coach with IU ties. Because we've walked down that road before of just getting the different guy that can establish their own program. The Sampsons, the Creans, now the Millers. That's cool. That's great. I think those were great hires. I think they gave them opportunity to build their program the way they want to build it. But the problem with IU is it takes someone who understands the culture. They understand not just how Coach Knight played or how things operate. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about being able to galvanize the IU faithful, being able to hug and kiss babies, go speak at events, be the keynote speaker at events, do it with passion because you care about it, because you are IU. There has to be somebody that it doesn't, my pick for coach right now would be Calbert Chaney.
Okay.
That would be my pick. And I know I get shot down by certain people who say
certain bosses of our podcast.
Yeah. But it's all good because I think outside the box. I don't think like you have to have 25 years of coaching experience. You had to have what IU needs right now is a coach that everybody's gonna get behind. As a coach that when he walks out on that floor for the first time, he's going to get a momentous standing ovation. That's the kind of coach we need right now. We don't need to guess and wait and see and have the IU faithful judging whether or not their offense is good enough. Because with a guy like Chaney and a guy like Alford and a guy like Fife and a guy like, and the only outside guy I would love to see is Brad Stevens. Of course, everybody, I like Brad
Top
Stevens.
Top of the list.
Yep, I've loved him since he was at Butler. Met him, talked to him. Yes, he came up to me and told me, I know who you are, man. You have to introduce yourself to me.
There you go. So if you come up to AJ, you say, I know you. I know you. AJ puts you at the top of his list.
And he's at the top of my list, but I'm looking at the timing of it, and I'm like, it can't be Brad. He's not about to just leave the Celtics right now in the middle of a playoff run.
Yeah. And can I give you one more?
Yeah,
he has some Indiana ties, the state, not the university. Scott Drew at Baylor. Obviously,
I like Scott Drew, yeah.
The Valparaiso ties, the state of Indiana ties. He knows how big Indiana basketball is.
Yeah.
At least an option.
That's an option. He's a heck of a coach. I know the guys on his staff, Alvin Brooks, really good friends. But I just feel like he's going to get those opportunities at Baylor that he would get at Indiana. What's the difference at the end of the day, other than you can kind of fly under the radar at Baylor? But if you go 15-15 next year at Indiana, everybody going to turn and start watching you. So if I'm Scott Drew and I know his family's there and I know they've been there a long time, I'm not uprooting my family out of Baylor to come to Indiana. But if he does, that's great for us. So, but I'm still on that alumni tie. It's time. We try every other avenue. And people, Calbert Chaney doesn't have coaching experience. He played 13 years in the NBA, College Basketball Hall of Fame. He played 4 years and he's the all-time leading scorer, been to Elite Eight, been to the Final Four. He's done it all. He's coached in the NBA. He's coached in college for 3 years under Jim Cruz, another Indiana guy. He's currently coaching in the NBA. Like, how much more experience do you need? Like, what are you looking for? So I'm looking at Juwan Howard and I'm looking at Penny Hardaway and I'm looking at Patrick Ewing and I'm like, oh, this is working in certain places. Does it work everywhere? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be a former player, but this is working. And what did it do? It galvanized the fan base. It's hard to jump on Patrick Ewing and say, get him out of here. It's hard to jump on Penny after year one and say, he got to go. Like, this dude got a statue out front. You know what I'm saying? So I think IU needs that more than anything right now as a coach that has ties that brings everyone together. And now we can be a patient for a year with Calbert Chaney. But the guy we bring in, Brad Stevens, we're gonna expect to win in year one. Like we're not going, oh yeah, he's just getting his feet wet. Like, no, he's getting $6 million a year. We want to win right now. So that would be my top. And Steve Alford, I hear so many negative things about Steve. I don't understand it coming from his time at Iowa. And I see people bring how he handled the peer situation years ago back at Iowa. It's like that was 10, 15 years ago. Like, can you imagine the media presence and the frenzy if Steve Alford was
Sources say he's
getting,
not leaving Nevada, though.
you said, word, you
People
said,
are saying he's not leaving Nevada.
I understand that at this point. If I'm hearing negative things about myself coming back to my alma mater, people aren't excited, I probably wouldn't come back either. But I was just surprised to hear that, because I think he's a phenomenal coach at the end of the day. I mean, has he won a national championship? No. But has he been at big programs and had success? Absolutely. So
Scott Dolson did mention that head coaching experience is not something that he's necessarily putting as a requirement on who he's looking for. He's left the door open from what we heard today. No searching committee, so it does feel like he's got a decent idea where he's going, but he left the door open, so it doesn't need to be a head coach, doesn't need to be a former player, doesn't have to be a non-former player. He's leaving the door open, which I think is a good thing. Indiana basketball has, I think, like you said, they have a passionate fan base, but at times a fractured fan base. And this hire feels extremely important. Like they have to get this one right.
They have to get this one right. It has to be all levels, galvanize and bring back, bring the fan base back together as one, but also bring an exciting brand of basketball back to IU, and a brand of basketball where the ball moves a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So not necessarily, we're going in cutting edge, but I counted dribbles, and I think each guard dribbles at least, not IU guards, but every guard in college basketball dribbles at least 11 times a possession. So it's like, I don't want to go that far, but but I would still like to see a person who knows what ball movement is all about, player movement, spacing, and taking shots, and and recruiting kids who take chances and are good enough to take chances. So I like the way Scott is handling it. And whoever he picks, even if it's not alumni, I'm going to support, obviously. I just think, after 3 hires, it's an opportunity to, bring back a guy who knows what it takes and what the whole process of being an Indiana basketball player is all about.